Okay, picture this. You pour months, maybe even years, into a groundbreaking study, only to have it rejected for a reason that feels, well, a little vague. This is a reality for countless researchers, and it often comes down to one powerful and sometimes really problematic phrase: insufficient theoretical contribution. So today, we're going to unpack what that actually means and why it's such a huge deal in the world of science and research.
Right? It's the classic, we love your work, but kind of feedback. You've done all the hard work, you've collected the data, you've written it all up, only to be told you've missed some invisible theoretical hurdle. It's not just frustrating. It can feel like a total misunderstanding of what makes your work valuable in the first place.
And look, if this sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. The source for this explainer points out that this is one of the most common reasons top journals turn down new research. So what's really going on when a reviewer says this?
Well, this is where it gets super interesting. The argument is that it's not always about some objective, hard and fast rule. Sometimes it's just a gut feeling. As one scholar famously put it, it can be a polite brush-off. Basically, a way for a reviewer to say, I just don't like it, without being able to put their finger on exactly why.
So, to really get to the bottom of all this, we need to be clear on the two key players in this whole debate: theoretical work and empirical work. Let's break them down.
First up, we've got the theoretical contribution. Think of this like the architect's blueprint for a house. It doesn't just show you what the house looks like, it explains why the foundation, the walls, and the roof all work together to make the structure stand. It's all about the how and the why behind what's happening.
And on the other side of the coin, you've got the empirical contribution. Now, if theory is the blueprint, an empirical contribution is like discovering a brand new, revolutionary building material. You might not know all the ways it can be used yet, but you found something new and fundamentally important about the world itself.
And this slide just lays it all out, crystal clear. A theoretical paper is a self-contained argument. It's all there. But an empirical paper, that's more like planting a seed. Its true value, its full implications, well, they might not be obvious right away. It's only when other researchers come along and see what grows from it that you realize its true impact.
And this brings us to a really big problem. What happens when this demand for theory just goes too far? You end up with a theory is king mentality, and as the source we're looking at argues, the cure can end up being way worse than the disease.
You see, this intense pressure can lead to some seriously damaging behaviors. You get what's called hypocritical writing, where data gets squeezed and twisted to fit a theory. It puts theoretical blinders on researchers, so they're so focused on an old map, they completely miss the new continent right in front of them. And maybe worst of all, an amazing real-world discovery can get totally buried under a contorted, misshapen theoretical argument that just doesn't belong.
Let's make this a bit more concrete with an example from the tech world. There's a whole field called design science research, or DSR, and its entire focus is on building new, useful things. Like a clever new app, a more secure piece of software, or a better way to organize information.
And here's the paradox. It's like inventing a revolutionary new kind of engine, but being told it's not a real engineering breakthrough because you didn't also write a new law of thermodynamics to go with it. The invention is the breakthrough. But in DSR, these incredible creations often get dismissed as just design practice instead of real valuable science. It's crazy.
So, is there a way forward?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it means we have to rethink what a valuable contribution actually is. It means we have to start championing the kind of empirical work that discovers what is so that we can inspire what could be.
Now let's be perfectly clear here. This is not an anti-theory argument, not at all. The goal isn't to dethrone theory, it's about giving empirical work its own seat at the royal table and recognizing it as an equally important building block for pushing knowledge forward.
And to do that, we have to get this one critical distinction. A theoretical contribution is like handing someone a finished cake, recipe included. But theoretical implications, that's like giving them a basket full of amazing new ingredients and saying, I can't wait to see what you bake with these. See the difference?
So here's the bottom line. A paper that gives a rich, accurate, and fascinating description of something new in the world can have way more powerful and lasting implications than some weak paper with a flimsy, forced theory just tacked on to get it published.
Okay, so what does this all mean in practice? How can we actually start to change the system? Well, the source lays out some incredibly clear advice for both the researchers doing the work and for the editors and reviewers who are the gatekeepers. So if you're an author, listen up. The message is to own your contribution.
If you've discovered something amazing, lead with that. Don't feel pressured to bolt on a weak theory. Instead, explore the potential implications of what you found. Hey, you could even flip the script and present your findings first, then use the literature review at the end to show the world exactly how your discovery changes the whole conversation. And for all the reviewers and editors out there, the advice is to shift your mindset. Instead of just looking for flaws, look for potential. If the empirical work is solid, help the author frame it that way. It's about moving from being a gatekeeper to being more of a gardener, helping cultivate the most promising new ideas, even if they're still just in seed form.
Which brings us to the big, final question, the one that could really change everything. What if instead of asking every single paper, what's the theoretical contribution, we just asked this: is this work so interesting, so new, and so well done that it's going to spark new ideas and push our entire field forward? Now that is a question worth asking.